welcome back yet again to the Stogie Lads podcast. This is the first time in a very long time for us doing this like Zoom face-to-face, just me and Ruben style recording. Feels good to be back though, again, finally.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while, like you said, and yeah, just happy to be able to sit here across from the screen again, though. But nonetheless, seeing your face and talking about cigars, so it's awesome to be back.
Hell yeah. The last episode, which when this is released would have been 2 weeks ago, was obviously the Jose Blanco episode, which for us was massive. It was so cool to do. And the response was incredible from you guys. Just wanted to thank you. I mean, it was quickly like the most viewed and listened to podcast. So that was just, that was very good. Not only for the numbers for us, but like it's nice for it to be validated when you have such a big guest. You really want it to perform well for, when you get such a big deal podcast. It's just nice to see it not be like kind of forgotten. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that was definitely huge for us, and it's like you said, it was really fun to see that recognition for something that also we thought was very fun to do, and easily the most hyped that we were for a podcast as well. So that was, glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, people found it informative, which is awesome. I think that was the main goal, but then a lot of nice comments about our interviewing, questions and that stuff, which is good because we are definitely novices about that. But on that sort of topic, we do have some other guests in plan, some kind of high level guests as well, you would call it. So yeah, I mean, we're planning to do more podcasts like that. Hopefully, since you guys like it that much, we'll definitely try to get them out to you guys pretty soon. I think we have 2 guests that we're pretty excited to do decently soon, but we'll see with all that, with the details. But yeah, that's obviously a fantastic thing. Not now, more back to a normal style episode. But yeah, that's that for the Blanco episode. A couple of things just wanted to touch on before. A thing that happened on Instagram that I haven't talked to you about yet, lad, because I've been waiting to do this here actually. The 3 Amigos Cigar Club. A lot of people might know them on Instagram. They're doing a massive giveaway for 10K, just as we did. Theirs is even bigger than ours though. 10 boxes of Cuban cigars, some of them being regional edition boxes, and like a Cohiba Siglo 6 box, and then a bunch of accessories from the famed, massive, and well-established accessory company Elie Bleu from France. Which is awesome. They're already. I mean, they're such kind people. You remember they sent us some cigars, lad. I'm sure you didn't forget. They sent us some really good stuff. I mean, they just always want to give back to the community, and now they're obviously opening up their hearts and I guess humidors and wallets to do this massive giveaway, which is awesome to see. But something heartbreaking. Someone apparently, or Instagram themselves, found the picture and were somehow I guess offended by it. I don't understand how really, but it got reported either by like Instagram themselves flagged it, or some user with malicious intent. I don't know why someone would do that, but it got taken down, which is really disheartening to see. But I was surprised about that because when I was talking to AJ a lot, who's the main guy behind 3 Amigos, about this, and we were like, oh, but we did a massive giveaway, and ours was really big. I mean, just with the response on it, it reached so many people. So I was like, how the hell did this get taken down in the first few hours? And there's tons of giveaways all the time, but basically he sent me some of the details behind this, and Instagram in like, I think May 30th or something, so decently recently this year, they have a new policy now, so they're getting even stricter on tobacco content. Yeah, so they're not allowing giveaways like this at all. So that's basically something I just wanted to mention here, talk to you about, lad, because we're not going to be able to do another giveaway like this. I mean, we're just never going to be able to do it.
So extremely sad and like disheartening to hear, because it's literally just people wanting to give back to the community and like gifting this. Not like they're not selling it. Keep in mind, like they're just giving it away, which is so. Yeah, extremely bad for like the community and everything, which has such a presence now. Like, it's so mind-boggling. I don't understand it. But it did.
And I was just disappointed.
did it not come up again?
Yeah, so I mean, they kind of reposted it, but they weren't allowed to discuss any of the details, so they can't even talk about it being. I mean, basically, they wrote like our giveaway hashtag if you know, you know, like because it was out up for a few hours. So some people, but like they have no buzz on this thing at all now.
Yeah.
If you look at the post, there's like no people. It has like 600 likes after a day, which is nothing for a giveaway, and like basically no one's seeing it, and they had to like gift wrap all of the boxes, so you can't tell. So if you hadn't seen it before, you have no idea what it is, and they're not allowed to disclose anything. But another sad thing is that they did an appeal to Instagram when it got taken down, and then basically Instagram said no, and they were like, if you do stuff like this again, we can delete your account. Instagram basically threatened it. So I think the end is nigh, lad. I don't think Instagram's going to be a sustainable platform for that much longer with tobacco, because they're just going so much against it. In conjunction with this, I talked to Ralphster as well, Ralphster91, a big Instagram account, and he said that he got a notification. He even sent me the screenshot from Instagram that a lot of his videos had been restricted due to like tobacco laws and stuff. So basically, he has like caps on his engagement rates now, so like barely anyone can see his posts.
God, yeah, that's extremely dark to hear, and
yeah.
I mean, something that you want to continue and grow and spread, like on social media, like we talked about that so many times, the potential and power it has to be able to connect with people, and now it's just putting obstacles in the way of it. It's I mean, everything's going social media now, and then we can't proceed with a hobby like this. It's
tragic. It is really tragic, I wonder how long left we have, lad, on the platform. I mean, I don't think it's going to be within like the next year, maybe, that they're going to move that much faster. Like, but I think in a few years they probably won't allow like tobacco accounts, which is a crazy thing.
Certainly heading in that way.
Because I've seen a lot of accounts selling illicit drugs, and it's not like weed or whatever, which is legal in the States. But I've seen some Instagram accounts, sometimes spam accounts and stuff, like pop up that are selling like, I don't even know, pills and stuff that I've seen it on ours, and I've always reported that stuff because if anyone's like selling it, and it's coming on spam for us. But some of these accounts Instagram haven't taken down. I've gotten the message like, we've reviewed whatever, and they didn't take it down. But like they're taking down people doing cigar giveaways, like. Yeah. It's like Jose Blanco said, cigar smokers are really, really prosecuted and discriminated against. It's pretty tragic.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all it's such a lazy discrimination as well from all parts that are trying to hinder cigars, because like we've discussed, it's just botching cigars together with cigarettes and thinking, and not even having the energy or anything to like tell that they're completely different things. So it's just laziness pretty much. And
pretty sad news. I guess the only other thing to touch on here, move on from that, is some new cigar stuff. I mean, we got a bunch of new cigars in from Miami from our friend Manny, who was traveling there, which is awesome. You can actually see everything. I did put a story up on it. I'm pretty bad at like the constant pushing, so like I'll do one thing like, and then I'll just post it once because I hate the spam style thing. But I did if you go on our website stogielads.com, which you guys probably already know about, on the homepage you can scroll down and see I made a spreadsheet where I'm cataloging, at least I did for all my cigars, because I don't know what Ruben's is. Maybe if he wants to do it, I don't know, he can, but for all the cigars I have, I put it on the catalog there in a spreadsheet, so you can actually see everything we have. So if you guys, if there's anything you want us to review that you see there, you can reach out, which is kind of my main idea about that. And if there's something you don't see there and you want to send it to us, obviously you can do that too. But mainly if there's something you want us to review, you can check it out there. But we got a bunch of cool stuff from the US, lad, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Very excited for that. You have that stash for me right now back in Stockholm.
Yeah, right
once
here.
I can come up and visit again.
Yeah, I have like 40 cigars for you that are just waiting. You're taking up all my humidity space, lad.
I like that.
But yeah, I've gone through some of them. Just like stuff like Padron that we can't even get here. It's insane. And then a new regional edition for Sweden's coming out, which is something we're really excited about. October 1st. that new Ramon Ayones King of North, not misspeaking.
Yeah, exactly. Very delicate there, lad.
It's like a double Robusto, which is something that it's a really cool Vitola, so we'll be looking out for that. There was no like launch event here in Stockholm that we went to. There were some in Gothenburg, whatever. But yeah. Just looking forward to that. But yeah, let's turn this somber vibe.
Let's do here quickly.
Let's do a what's in your glass, huh? Let's do a go back to the classic slide. What are you drinking here?
Today, let's take a little sip of that first. But it's nothing more than a really cold iced tea I have here with me today.
Iced tea, okay.
Not a Long Island iced tea, not a Tokyo iced tea or anything like that. It's alcohol free. I just felt pour myself a nice cold glass here that I've had a bit of alcohol in this recent month because of the initiation period here in Lund, so I decided to step away from that for a second.
Yeah, and you're studying
how
a
about
lot
you,
this
Carl?
week. Huh?
What are you drinking? Yeah, exactly.
I'm going for a Scotch here, something we had together actually. A very much a classic. I haven't had this on the podcast yet, I realized, and I wanted to have some before the bottle runs out. But this is a Fittick 15. A lot of people, I mean, this is like one of the most famous brands of Scotch, Fittick. Yeah. Classic Speyside. This is their 15-year-old, so 15-year aged. It's both bourbon, new oak, and sherry cask. But I remember telling you this, lad, but I just wanted to say it really quickly here. What's cool about this 15-year whiskey is that it's their Solera cask, quote unquote. So what they do is they mix the 15-year-old whiskey, and then every 15 years they empty half of the cask, and then put in new whiskey, let that age for 15 years, and empty half of it. So in theory, there's whiskey in here that's decades and decades and decades old because they never fully empty it. But I mean, obviously the majority is younger, but you know, it's not all 15. It's a minimum of 15 and a lot of older whiskey. So it's a pretty cool theory. What are your tasting notes in your iced tea line while I sip this?
I just wanted to quickly say that when you brought that up, the first thing I thought about was, like, you know how a sourdough kind of culture, you know, that you never let that die. You just always kind of keep it going, so that like you have sourdough that's hundreds of years, or I don't know how old they can be, but
really
that's what I thought about immediately. Yeah. But the tasting notes, you know, it's a lemon iced tea, so it's pretty straight up lemon.
Citrus notes, maybe even.
Give me some. Yeah, exactly. Orange peel.
There's no orange peel in this, but this is just so caramelly and fruity. I mean, you might remember it a lot, but it's just such an easy sipper. It's insane.
Yeah.
How easy this
I
goes
do.
down.
And I was recently at a dinner that my friend had because he recently moved into a new apartment, and then for dessert he did bring out a Glenfiddich bottle. I don't think it was the 15 years, but it was.
Was it green?
Yes, it was.
Then it's the 12. That's a classic. If it was a green bottle, even the glass is green on the 12.
Yeah.
That's a classic. That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. I had some of that.
Nice. All right, Lyle, let's go even more positive now. Do you want to introduce the topic? Because this is going into a little bit of dream world here. We can fantasize about some nice things. Exactly. Do you want to introduce the topic here, lad?
Of course. Yes. So today we're going to be talking about the top 8 places that we would like to visit to smoke a cigar, or just iconic places, cigar locations, really. That can be everything from like festivals, lounges, factories, and tobacco farms. So yeah, we're going to go through a bit of that list that we've brought out. So we have 4 each here to discuss. And some of them are really, really special, and some of them like that are pretty much impossible for us, I'd say, to get to. But some of them are definitely in our sights. And
some of them we've been at, lads. So do you want to start with the first one, or one of them?
Absolutely. I'll kick off with that, and that is James J. Fox in London. We were there in October 2018. We actually went to London to watch NFL when they have 3 games a year that are there. And then we had obviously looked up some spots that we were going to visit for cigars when we were there. And of course we had to go to JJ Fox because I don't know if many people know this, but JJ Fox is the world's oldest or world's first cigar merchant that sold cigars, and dates back to the late 1700s. And they've had customers like Sir Winston Churchill, Oscar Wilde, British and foreign royalty, and of course Carl and Ruben of the Stogie lads. But I'm not sure why that wasn't written on the website.
Good lad.
But it's not only a shop / lounge. They even have a museum there.
Right.
You kind of walk down to the basement where Churchill used to visit to order his cigars and purchase them, and you can actually sit in his chair that he himself sat at.
That was really cool
when he came to visit, and obviously they have this beautiful lounge one floor up, which we were just so extremely, because we didn't actually think that we were gonna get to smoke a cigar there, which was the whole thing. We just walked into the humidor, saw the museum, and then when we had bought the cigars, they were like, "Oh, do you want to smoke this now?" Or yes, if he was gonna cut it. And we're like, "Yeah, maybe." And he's like, "Yeah, you guys can just head upstairs." And that was just one of the best. Still my favorite cigar experience to this day. 100%. So we felt like we need to include that in this list for anyone who hasn't been there.
Yeah, beautiful walk-in humidor. And like you said, I don't know, the place just felt so premium. Here in Sweden, you can't smoke indoors. And the only place you can has a big lounge, but it's too exclusive as private members. I just assume there's no way any random kid can walk into JJ Fox and smoke there. But they were so accommodating. Do you remember what you smoked, lad? Do you remember what you
had? Did we not have the same thing?
I remember what I had, but I don't know if you...
I had a Quidose...
Coronas Claro.
Coronas Claro, exactly.
Same here, yeah. That's before they were relaunched, so this is with the old band, so that was cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, such a great experience. And to add to it, why? I mean, like you said, lad, it has a great museum, which is just cool to see some old cigar artifacts. There was I remember some letter from Churchill on a huge order of cigars that was sent, one that was written with a typewriter from Churchill, and then the lounge itself is beautiful. It's on. Is it Regent Street? I forgot what it's called now, but it's a really nice high-end street in London.
Yeah.
There's big windows, and it's a very nice, fresh. I mean, it's not an old. It's an old building, but it's very fresh, and the furniture is beautiful, and there's a little bar, but there's no alcohol because I don't think that's legal in the UK. But there's a coffee machine, there's sparkling water to take from a fridge. There. I mean, it's just all free as well. Just nice accommodations, which is incredible. So worth it to go there. So worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Going back for sure in this life.
All right. So that one's pretty accessible for people in Europe. I'd say for people to go to. So keeping it sort of on an accessible scale, I'll go with Cohiba Atmosphere location. So a lot of people might not have heard of this. It's kind of under the radar. But for those people that don't know, I mean, Abanos, who make all Cuban cigars, they also are in charge of all the distribution and all that stuff, which is not the case for a lot of other cigar companies. Abanos actually have their own distributors in every country, and then those distributors distribute to officially licensed shops, basically. So to be a Cuban cigar retailer, you have to kind of pass a sort of standard. And you have a few levels of this. So the lowest is an Abanos point. So if you've seen, even here in Sweden, you can go to smaller tobacco shops that have some Cuban cigars, often in a tiny little desktop humidor on the stand. And those places just pass for an Abanos point. And that's very easy to pass. Then there's an Abanos specialist, which most bigger sort of cigar dedicated shops are Abanos specialists. Then next level is La Casa De La Banos, which most people know about the La Casa De La Banos. And they're very big shops. They have to sell pretty much only you can only sell Abanos cigars there at La Casa De La Banos, so you can't go into a La Casa De La Banos and buy like Davidoffs and stuff like that, which you can at other levels. You need to have like walk-in humidors, you need to have a lounge if it's legal and all that stuff at the La Casa De La Banos. And there are actually hundreds, I think 140 La Casa De La Banos in the world. But then there's this other level of thing called a Cohiba atmosphere. And the reason I guess it's not that known is that there are 140 La Casa De La Banos, and those are pretty exclusive already. I mean, if you've gone to La Casa De La Banos, they're nice places. And there are hundreds upon thousands of other Abanos points and Habanes specialists. But the Cohiba atmosphere, there's actually only 13 locations in the entire world. Mm-hmm. And these are obviously they're La Casa De La Bano in terms of their, what they have. They have all the Cuban cigars. They have to have everything. But upon that, they also have to have a certain standard in terms of the accommodation stuff. So here's where it gets really exclusive, because these places have to have they have to have a certain level of bar, and some of these bars are incredible, where they're so high level that like big companies like Balvenie, who's a big Scotch company, they've sponsored the whole bar at the Bangkok Cohiba atmosphere. Some of them even have hot cuisine, so like they even have high level like food, like really, I don't even know what to call it, like 3-star food, like incredible food that's paired with the cigars and all that stuff. They have to, I mean, these are luxurious places, and they have to have all these cigars. A lot of them even have special stuff. So they have these like special jars. They have the special releases, like the La Casa De La Bano releases. They have the special regionals. They have tons of crazy stuff. So you'll be able to find really rare Cuban cigars there, which is awesome. But you'll also be able to smoke in beautiful locations. If you Google some of these lounges, the Bangkok one, the Hong Kong one, it's incredible. The only problem is it's kind of hard to go. So there are Beijing, Cancun, Shanghai, Kuwait, Pudong, Buenos Aires, Bangkok, Antwerp, and Prague. As well as Hanoi, and one in Havana as well. So a lot of them are in Asia because of the smoking regulations. They're much more lenient there. But so it's not that easy to go to. Sorry, do you want to say something, lad? It looked like you had a question.
I did, because I think I just recently saw that. Isn't there one in Belgrade as well? Or that might be. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, for us, it's not that far.
Maybe there's a new one
anyway. Yeah.
Maybe there's an even newer one.
But a trip to Prague isn't that far from us, at least.
Yeah, definitely not.
So that, yeah.
But it's just amazing to have a place where, I mean, obviously the selection of Cuban cigars is impeccable. It's really the best you can get. They have everything. The sort of area environment is absolute perfection. I mean, they really have to pass a high standard. And just a place where that the bar, everything in the bar is thought of, like all the selection is thought of in terms of what would go well with a cigar. That's just such a cool idea to me. And then obviously some of them even have the food that matches the cigars. That's just really cool. To go to a place where everything just revolves around the cigar is brilliant. So hopefully we can go one day. And if you guys Google, I think there's actually they have their own wine. They have their own Rioja wine, Cohiba Atmosphere wine that those places sell. They come in these black and gold sleek bottles. So that's really, really cool. Okay, so Cohiba Atmosphere. If we have any people that live in any of those locations that we said, can highly recommend if you want Cuban cigars.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I know that Prague, when I was like looking around for cigar lounges, it seems like Prague has a few that are pretty like high quality. So that might have to be our next destination as well.
Yeah, they're very lenient with smoking there.
Speaking of another, yeah, exactly. That must be it. Yeah, but speaking of another destination, this one is at a fixed spot, because it's actually the one I'm going to talk about now is the Abanos Festival, and obviously for a cigar enthusiast, a trip to Havana sometimes in their life has to be inevitable. And like, what better way to make this trip to Havana than to actually visit the world-renowned Abanos Festival. This is a week-long event with the tours of the tobacco plantations, factories such as La Corona and Partagas, the latter being one of the actual icons of the city and just really symbolizes Havana as like a city and the history and everything there. And well, I haven't even mentioned the cigars yet, but of course all the prestigious like Cuban brands are there offering tastings of the newest vitols and lines. And with, I think last year, obviously the one 2021 was canceled, but the one last year, they had like evenings dedicated to specific brands where they had like Bolivar one night and Monte Cristo midweek.
Yeah.
And then throughout this whole week, capping it off at the end with like a black tie dinner event with a live auction of all these cigars that you've gotten to see during the whole week. So I mean, this is obviously something that where you also gather a bunch of cigar smokers and like-minded people, which is so cool to do as well, because we've been talking about we haven't gone to the chance to smoke with that many people other than us and some herfs and virtual herfs that being in a spot with so many cigar smokers would feel so strange and cool, because when you walk around smoking a cigar in Stockholm or something, you feel like the odd one out, not the one included in a group, really. So so I think that would be a very cool experience. And then not even to talk about just like, other than cigars, the festival itself includes like a real just like dive into Cuban culture with the food and live music and drinks, the Cuban rum and all that culture as well, getting the entire feel and everything around cigars as well. And one last note about that is, especially for Americans, which first of all is very close, obviously, but you can also bring back Cuban sticks to the US when you go there. So definitely I think a worthwhile trip. Pretty expensive, I think, but
I think it's about $1,500.
Exactly.
And I don't think you get much more than just the festival pass for that. I think you still have to pay for your accommodation and that stuff. So it is kind of a pricey thing. And I've heard this one's kind of a bit of a high roller thing, where a lot of it is centered around their auctions. If you Google these auctions, they're pretty famous because they make special edition humidors. Sometimes they make unique one-of-one humidors with a bunch of crazy cigars in there just for that festival, and they auction them off. And they go up to hundreds of thousands of US dollars. Exactly. So it's pretty nuts. But I think you can still enjoy it if you don't have that much cash, because there's like the farm visits and the factory visits you talked about. So it just sounds like a dream thing. So I think I'll stay with Havana with this one, since you're already there for the festival. If you're staying a day after, you might want to find another place to smoke when the festival's over. So I guess I'd say I actually looked at a bunch of different places. I wanted to say Hotel Nacional, the famous hotel there, is pretty good for smoking, as well as the Kempinski. I think there's a few famous hotels, but the one that really I fell for the most after when reading about all these places was the La Casa De La Banos in Old Havana, which is actually, it's called the Partagas Cigar Lounge. And there's there's incredible service, but the funny thing kind of with Cuba is that they have incredible stock there, and I know that from a bunch of people traveling there. They have a bunch of like regional editions. They have often they have Bejiques even available there, which is kind of funny. I guess they want to promote the tourism even more and having all these rare cigars, but there's some crazy rare cigars that are available in Havana when you go. So it's not like they just they export everything and try to get rid of everything, and when you get there it's kind of barren. So if you go especially to this La Casa De La Banos, you have some, the lounge is incredible. It's like right in the middle of Havana, in Old Havana. So it is a beautiful old building. So it kind of is must-see for, even if you don't love cigars. But it's a huge scale place as well. And it has an incredibly rare collection of cigars stocked in the humidor. And tons of the cigars in the cabinet there apparently will not be found anywhere else in the world. So you can go there, you can smoke some of the rarest Cuban cigars there are and enjoy them in a beautiful, classic location. So that to me seemed like the place to go if you want to smoke in Havana.
Nicely done. Yeah. yeah, I'll just keep going then with another festival here because besides the Abanos Festival, outside of Cuba, you have the Pro Cigar Association Festival in the Dominican Republic, which is this one. Seems like this is the one that I was thinking about when I talked about having our sights on something here, lad.
Yeah.
Because this festival, first of all, is held in February. It's also about like a week-long event, and Pro Cigar is a big company that has a bunch of brands under its portfolio, such as like La Aurora, General Cigar Dominicana, which in turn include Macanudo, CO, and then of course you have Arturo Fuente as well. This is just to name a few because there's so many brands here. Take up a lot of time talking about them. But the festival itself offers a variety of events, similarly to like I talked about the Abanos Festival. But here you also have these like cigar field and factory tours, where you get to smoke new and even unreleased cigars, which is really awesome. You have premium cigars during all activities that you can smoke, admission to all dinner parties. The dinner parties, which include a premium open bar as well, and just seminars as well and workshops. So it's really a place where I think you would really dive deeply into cigar knowledge and cigars. I think going there and leaving there, you've done the most with your cigar hobby. Like you brought it to another level pretty much. And this is even speaking without we even have gone there. But
it sounds incredible. I mean, from people with experience of actually going there, this one seems to be where you get your money's worth, whereas the Abanos Festival is because you have like a set amount of cigars you get, so you pay your ticket and you already know how many cigars you're going to get, and it's a little bit more stingy, and this is kind of where the contrast between the communistic Cuba, which is a lot more restrained. They're trying to maximize intake from this festival. They're trying to get as much money in as possible. And this Pro Cigars, I mean, these are companies that are come together. So these are private companies. So these companies can give out how many cigars they want. So they're basically just handing cigars out all the time. And according to, again, Manny, who's been there, you get more than your money's worth in cigars. I mean, you can walk away with hundreds of cigars from this place, from the factory tours, from the dinners. Before every dinner, you get like a huge stash of cigars. You can just say, and before the dinners, you can just go, I just want to smoke these tonight, and then you can check in the others and just pick them up after. So you're just getting so many cigars and so much stuff at this place where this one's a little bit more for the people. Another cool thing about this one is all the guides and all that stuff is, like Ruben said, it's with the gurus of the cigar industry. So the people of the factories are leading it itself. Where the Abanos one, it's a little more hidden because no one really knows who's behind these brands in Cuba. So this one's really a little more accessible, I guess is a word for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on to not a festival, but another location. So mine are a little more specific location vibes. But this is the Grand Havana Room in New York City. So this is the creme de la creme in terms of lounges, and this is more of a dream one for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it's closed now, and it's been closed for about a year. It's probably going to open up in 2022 again. But the whole building where it's in is under construction, like huge renovation. But it's in an amazing location in Manhattan, overlooking the skyline. The only issue, I guess, is, or not the only issue, in minor detail, it's extremely elitist. It's invite only, and this is Rudy Giuliani, the disgraced former governor of New York or mayor. What was he? I can't remember, but he was he frequented this place. I know Arnold Schwarzenegger's gone to this place a lot. It's very elitist, but this is basically the dream lounge. It's a huge floor in New York City. You've got those like high ceilings, with arches and like mahogany covered wood everywhere. It's like leather furniture. It's all just extremely luxurious. I mean, really the epitome of like a luxurious lounge where it feels like you're in a dream world almost. So it's just a beautiful location. They have extremely rare cigars there as well. There's a lot of pre-embargo crazy stuff apparently at this place.
Oh wow.
Amazing bar, amazing food. One of the only places where you can like, I think it was probably the only place in New York City before it closed where you could like smoke, eat, and drink at the same place at the same time, because it's a private lounge. They could do anything there, and obviously since it's so elitist, they have amazing chefs and all that stuff. So that's just ridiculous. I mean, classic lounge look, iconic place. So. I mean, if you know anyone in Hollywood, I guess maybe you could get in and let us know. But just to let you know, the Grand Havana room, because that's been around forever as well. So it's very much iconic. It's good to know about just because it's such an iconic piece of cigar history.
Yeah, I guess something you could really like when imagining a cigar lounge is something that this is something that's created straightly out of that imagination. Yeah. To continue, I have the Chateau De La Fuente, which is actually one of the sites included in the Pro Cigar Festival, which is this Fuente factory. But we thought this was such a standalone shout out. Yeah. So worth it to bring it up as it's as an own visit. And of course, there are many like factories worth visiting, and like I earlier mentioned, Cuba's most famous factory, Fábrica Partagas. But only Fuente is Fuente, right, lad? So we brought this one up. And so Chateau de la Fuente is where the wrapper tobacco for Opus X is grown and where the most premium lines of Fuentes are rolled. So it's it's a very unique place and factory where each room or each line that is being rolled by the rollers there is in a specific room in the factory where the entire room is decorated and designed to match that theme of just that line being rolled, and to just be able to smoke a cigar while walking through all these different rooms and where the rollers are producing and smoking cigars themselves would be an experience above any other. And just seeing the aging room that Fuente has. Obviously, they're known for aging their cigars a bit before releasing them to the market, or as many other cigar companies outside of Cuba are. But you're just taking a stroll also through that aging room to see all these, these finished rolled cigars but resting until they have the sufficient amount of aging. Would be such a cool experience.
It's incredible, yeah. And we've heard from someone who's been there as well. Again, Manny, he's getting a lot of shout outs here, but you get to see unreleased stuff. You get to see stuff that was never released. You get to see just stuff they're playing around with. They have a whole wall, and people in our Discord got to see some pictures when he went. They have a whole wall of stuff which is just kind of their joke cigars that they've just rolled for fun. And there's like little football-sized football cigars. They're meter-long culebras that look like genuine snakes, and there's just crazy cool stuff. And you just get to smoke cigars off the rollers table there. You're just handed cigars all the time. Just looks like an incredible place, and it's just beautiful as well. It's probably the most. It is the most beautiful cigar factory I've ever seen in my life. How clean and modern and beautiful it is. It's just incredible. So incredible experience. I'm gonna end it off then with the last one, the 8th, and this is kind of an unknown one that I've kind of heard about recently. This is a hotel actually, and this is called the Chateau Andermatt. So this is actually in the Swiss Alps, in the city of Andermatt, and this is, the hotel is beautiful. It's a super luxury hotel. So it's a gorgeous hotel in the Alps. That Swiss cabin style, just beautiful looking 5-star hotel. But they have an incredible cigar library, which they call it the cigar library. They have a wine library as well. It's just an incredible place in general. But this is it's both a gorgeous lounge with that, classic leather armchair and, glass walls. And, it's just a beautiful looking lounge, modern and gorgeous. But it's their selection of cigars, which is actually incredible. It's the largest selection of cigars of any hotel in the world. They have 800 different cigars, some of the most exotic corners. I've seen some pictures from this on Instagram. I've seen some of the richer influencers, unlike us, that have been there. And I've seen the stuff they have. And they have Cuban Davidoffs, just like laying, boxes of it, as if it's like any line that you can find nowadays.
Yeah, so sick.
Pre-embargo stuff. You can get any limited edition like Cuban Limitada from any year as if it's nothing. Obviously these things come for a price, but the cool thing is they have all the other stuff. You can find like Brick House, those are like $8 cigars. You can find that kind of stuff. You can buy literally everything. So they have pretty much every single cigar you can think of, which is absolutely incredible. And there's walk-in humidor and then a smoking lounge. What's cool about it is that they claim that the hotel offers almost all cigars at normal retail prices. So it's not, the whole thing is about getting a really good experience. And I think they have an Instagram at the Chedi, Chedi Cigar Circle, at the Chedi Cigar Circle. You can see some of the pictures. Obviously a lot of spirits and beautiful stuff, but just I love the vibe of this place. It just seems like they just want to make an incredible cigar experience for you and offer as much as there is. Imagine just, I don't know, skiing in the Alps for a bit, taking in the views, coming in for a cigar after ski, where you just get some nice drinks and then drop $100 on a Cuban Davidoff.
Yeah, this was a really good addition to the list, because I was thinking also some place where you could just, like, one place you could go to and pretty much like look through the menu and just choose pretty much anything that you feel like.
Yeah.
Something like you said, you can get pre-embargoes or anything like that. And what a spectacular place that looks like. Definitely.
Yeah, and this is it seems very unknown. I don't really know how. Because this was a trend when when I was Googling, trying to find inspiration, the list just seemed to have the same places recycled. I'm sure someone made the original list of like the 10 best lounges in the world, but then other magazines just kept copying the same list over and over. The Chedi Andermatt seems to be the absolute best selection of cigars almost in the world, which is like not a private members club like the Grand Havana room. So
yeah, exactly. Cool. I looked through on their webpage. You can look at their menu.
Yeah,
like the cigar menu, which was a 91 page long PDF or something like that. And it's that just got it tickling. So that I hadn't heard of that place before actually, and looks so like the perfect combination if you want to go for that's probably pretty expensive to stay there. But
it looked okay though, there, but not horrific. But if you have the cash, COVID's almost over, so I hope we gave you guys some travel inspo now.
Yeah,
some good ideas here. This was a lot of fun to make the list and to chat with it to you, lad. Certainly nice.
Yeah, definitely. Always fun, and always fun to dream about cigars and.
It's a bit of escapism.
It was kind of funny because I was looking up to hear some stories about like people's cigar dreams, like on Friends of Abanos and stuff. But when I searched cigar dreams, the only thing I found was literal dreams people were having about cigars. Like
we're a sick breed.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't disappointed by the results, but it wasn't what I was looking for.
Cigar smokers are a different breed. That's incredible. Good times, lad. Good times. But yeah, once again, I hope you guys got some inspiration from this. If anyone's been at any, a lot of these were kind of out of left field, but I know some of the guys that we talk about frequently and that listen to the podcast have been to Cuba. So maybe one of these places has been JJ Fox. I'm sure. I actually know a lot of the UK guys have been. Obviously, it's not far from them. Yeah. But if you guys have been to any of these places, let us know. And if there's any other places that you think we really missed, please let us know as well.
That's what I was gonna say as well. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and
we'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, cheers, guys. Cheers.